What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to Stocks by the Numbers and another installment of my series, How'd I Do? Let's Review, where I hold my feet to the fire, unlike probably 98% of people on YouTube, and actually go back to see if I know what the hell I'm talking about, or if I got it completely wrong, and, I have to change up my strategy moving forward. Name of the company in question, Robinhood Markets, ticker symbol HOOD, listed here on the NASDAQ. Now, this was a company. This is where I made the video right here, May 18th. Stock, as you can tell, high nines, maybe around $10 a share. At the time, I said this is like a $2 stock. They were bleeding like crazy. The revenue sold off. I don't know. They were saying the founder, screwed people over. I don't know. Then they're buying back this guy's stock. So let's see what the hell happened, okay? So I made the video, as you see, bounced around a little bit, rejected off the moving average, and then boom, continued, fell off a cliff, hit new 52-week lows of 681 or whatever. So immediately in the short term, I was correct. And I actually thought it was just going to continue to slide, continue to go lower. But of course, you have some nonsensical bullshit rally, and it just immediately reclaimed $9 like it's supposed to be there. And then the company comes out and posts earnings, and again, they miss on the EPS side with a slight beat on the revenue side, which for some reason sent the stock into orbit. And the stock goes from high nines and immediately jumps up to north of 11.5 off of that news, while bouncing around, maintaining these levels, and then, of course, running and rallying going into next quarter's earnings, getting as high as about 12.5 going into these numbers, where they finally beat on the EPS side, but yet missed on the revenue side by about $1.5 million. The stock immediately dropped to sub 8.5 within a few days, but yet immediately spiked back up to 10.5, getting back to the moving average. As you can see, fighting and bouncing around the moving average before pulling back again and potentially touching a new 52-week low. However, it was saved by a rallying market and multiple green days for some reason, completely retracing the stock back to the fib of north of 11.5. And then the company pulls back to this fib of 981 and has since broke and has been bouncing around, now pulled back of the moving average, closing at 942, down 30 cents on the day, or roughly 3.1% drop today. Now, basically, this is all hilarious to me, in my opinion. The fact that this thing hit new lows of 680 and then had a complete, frickin' 90% rally all the way back up within 2 quarters that actually weren't really that good. They weren't, right? They're still bleeding, and they slightly beat estimates on the revenue side. Then they finally come in above estimates on the EPS side, but then they miss on the revenue side. And everyone's acting like this isn't a big problem, right? And the company here, we just missed again by 16 million, 4 or 5% miss. And we also missed on the EPS side. That's what I mean. The fact that this was, where is this, 1060, actually jumped up to 11 for some reason. And it's like slowly pulling back to now sub 9.5. Like, this is hilarious. This stock should be at 3.5 right now. It's fighting for low, mid, high nines when it should be fighting for like low, mid, high ones. And I am not even bullshitting you. Coming off these abysmal quarters and everyone acting like everything's okay. Yet if we back up from the date of inception, when you listed the son of a bitch, you were doing clear of $500 million in the quarter. Then estimates immediately pulled back to, look, 437, almost $100 million less the following quarter. You miss by north of 70 million, and now look at estimates. Look, down in 300 million and change. Look, reported sub 300 million in revenue, missing by north of 55 million for the quarter. I mean, this is hilarious. The fact that this company, for this entire time frame here, April of last year, right before I made the video. That's what I mean. For 8-9 months straight, the fact that this company has even sausaged and has maintained this flat level of 9-ish, potentially 10. I remember, I would just come back to the PC when I had a minute. I'm like, let me see how Robinhood is. Let me see if it keeps selling off and hitting these lows. Oh, it's back up to 1060. So it's higher than where it was when I made the video, when the son of a bitch was overvalued at 960. But somehow it's up to 1060 with the company posting less revenue than it made last year and the year before, right? Now, I see that, again, I see the EPS numbers rising, and then boom, you have a massive estimate of minus 52 cents going into Q1 of 23. So I have no idea what's going on. Revenue, mid-high 300 millions. Look at the profit margin, minus 43%. This is the second video I'm posting today. The video I did before this was talking about Fubo TV. If you haven't seen it, please go back and watch that video, because the revenue on Fubo climbed from levels of 200 and change to up to 300 million and change now, and their profit margin is minus 30%. It climbed from minus 68%. So, yeah, it's heading in a similar direction, but also at the same time, this company's bringing in the same revenue. They're losing more money, but they're maintaining a $8.5 billion market cap. Fubo TV, $350 million market cap right now. So that's what I'm saying. You can't tell me I'm wrong on both ends, right? So either A, Fubo is going to go from $1.67 and explode up to $10, $12, $15 a share, you're welcome. Or B, Robinhood is ridiculously overinflated, and they're now going to bring this from $9.42 down to $1.42. You're welcome, right? So either which way, that's what I mean. You can't tell me it's good for one and not the other, especially if they're both in the tech space, right? And again, it brings me back to companies like Goodyear Tire. That's why I consistently mention these companies. Goodyear Tire, we looked at it. They were net income positive. The company's bringing in $17.5 billion for the year, yet you're telling me the company's worth $3.5 billion. That's what I mean. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't tell me these companies on paper are being severely suppressed and they're undervalued and they're waiting to explode, yet at the same time you're showing me a manipulated company like this that has somehow maintained this $9, $10 level when it should be at $1. So, yeah, I guess you can say, the last quarter or two, wasn't as dismal as before. But again, they started off making over $500 million for a quarter, and now everyone's clapping their hands when this company's bringing in, 320, 340 million for the quarter. I mean, I'm sorry. I just don't get it. I am not a fan of Robinhood. I think it's tremendously overvalued. That's what I mean. The fact that it even stayed above this moving average this whole time, and see now it's like fighting these moving averages and just slightly broke this 50-day. Like, that's what I mean. It's all nonsense. Bottom Bollinger Band 936. The low is only 940. I mean, look at the MACD just sliding down. I don't know. In my opinion, again, I think someone behind the scenes is buying it and helping to keep it up, because it should be a hell of a lot lower. I'm surprised this MACD is even as high as it is. It should be severely negative. It should have crossed and dipped downward by now. And that's what I mean. Look, going back for several weeks, most of January, February, right, the stock was maintaining above that moving average. It's bullshit. It's nonsense in this tight little range. It is bullshit. It is nonsense. This is a stock, I'm telling you right now, no matter how you want to cut it, even with them, quote-unquote, rebounding some of these numbers, this stock can easily drop 50, 60% from where it is right now. It's not even a doubt in my mind. Either that, or everyone watching this video should go buy Fubo, because that son of a bitch is going to rally 1,000%. Right? That's what I mean. Something's going to happen. One of them's going to happen. You can't tell me. You can't tell me that I'm wrong. And looking at the way that this stock immediately dropped to new lows and then rebounded like this, I'm telling you, man, the market is lucky I'm not a big player like the big names on Wall Street. Because if I had several hundred million to dump in this market right now, let me tell you something. My presence would be felt, and once I explain myself to the average investor, they would probably jump on board, see it my way, and do the exact same trades and investments that I would do. But hey, whatever you do with your money is entirely your own prerogative, right? I'm just bringing this to your attention, doing a little review on a company that we already looked at to see how we did. And again, I think it's all bullshit. I do pat myself on the back a little bit that it did hit a new low right after I made the video and potentially retested it at the time. And then, of course, you had the bullshit rally going into earnings that we all knew were going to be dismal. So I don't even know why everyone's still pumped about it. But again, that is just my opinion. If you own the stock, I hope it goes to the moon. If you bet against the company, hey, I hope it goes to $1. Either which way, moving forward, I wish everyone success. I hope everyone makes a couple of dollars. I want to thank you guys for stopping by. All right, stocks by the numbers. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Helps out the algorithm. If you appreciate the videos, please push the subscribe button. It means a lot to me. And again, it's nonsense like this. It is stressful. It is a pain in the ass. But this is why simple logic, common sense, and looking at the numbers will most likely have you more correct than you are incorrect. And a situation like this, again, being right on 7, 8 out of 10 other calls will keep you afloat for a situation like this if you're continuing to bet against the position that is not really moving in the right direction and supposedly screwing you over, so to speak. But overall, stay positive, stay focused, stay disciplined. Thanks for stopping by. You guys are awesome. Have a good day.